going to kick Sephiroth's ass. King of the Night, Vince of Valentine EX. Turk coming back at you with a brand new video. And this will be uploaded tomorrow, of course. And I want to get into Dissida since Dissida is coming out. So, with Dissida coming out, sorry, I'm enjoying some good, godly Rice House Chinese food. But anyways, Dissida Opera Omina. Is it connected in between Dissida Duodeciem and within the confines of NT as well? And I say yes. Even though it's a mobile game we never got in the US and it wasn't the best thing that Square Enix came up with, this is actually the in-between story of everything that happened between Dissida Duodeciem and NT, based off the fact that there's more stuff going on. Now, I think it's inconvenient that they add more characters. And I guess they could because the models they use, because it's a phone game, and you know, is add more. But I think that after the defeat of Chaos, Spiritus has arose, and thus brought back all the villains and even the extra villains like Seymour and stuff like that. Thus, we had to bring more heroes to it. That's why there's Vincent Valentine, Snowvilliers, Rydia of the Mist, and various other Final Fantasy characters that never made it into Duodeciem or NT. Now, what I gotta say about it being actually part of the in the middle, it would be a great battle has played after the defeat of Chaos. Many years have passed. Spiritus comes awakens. Thus, Materia awakens, and a big war has waged on for years and years. So the years and years have passed on throughout Dissidia's timeline. You know, and what that means is it's pretty much a giant war that happens in between the games that actually ends up with the war that you see in NT. The characters have not met Spiritus yet, but it's in between the sagas. In between. Now, before you say that Dissida Opera Omina is a shitty phone game with shitty advertisements and microtransactions, the story does play in between the years before NT, in between the years of after Duodeciem, and then the years and the years before NT, and NT was the final battle. The final is going to be a final battle. Just to start off the new tale, Opera Omina existed because Materia has summoned more heroes to defeat the evil enemies. Because there's actually more bad guys than the standard ones you see in NT. So, what could this possibly mean? This could possibly mean that Materia summoned heroes. Then the heroes went back to the world after they finished one battle. And the whole game is that one big war that happens in between the wars. In between the New Tale War. That's why you see characters that aren't in the games. But could this mean that we might be able to see maybe a DLC story with the extra characters? We might be able to see a DLC story with all the extra characters that were in Opera Omina, such as Seymour, Snow, Rydia, Vincent Valentine, Aeris, Yuffie, Zell. Are we going to be able to see an extra storyline DLC of this in the future for NT, an extra to show what happened to them? Who knows? But we just know that this plays right into the middle of of the storyline. Pretty much all the battles that were all up to the NT. To the start of NT. So we might be able to see him in the game. Then Vincent Valentine might make an appearance in Dissida NT. Same thing as Zell, Rydia, and all the characters that are from Opera Omina. So we might be able to see, maybe there might be an Opera Omina DLC pack for all of the regions. For people who didn't get to play Dissida Opera Omina, whether they had the phone with space problems, or because it was only an import, we're most likely to get character DLCs from the Opera Omina pack, such as the characters that are voted the most popular from Opera Omina. So we may be able to see Vincent Valentine in the actual DLC from the Opera Omina pack if you buy the season pass. But don't quote me on this. I'm not saying this is so. I'm saying it's a possibility. It's a possibility since, you know, I think because of Opera Omina being in between the games. However microtransaction Opera Omina is, because it's a mobile game, there's always source materials that fit in the games that aren't video games at all. Such as the One Way to Smile novels for Final Fantasy VII, the Final Fantasy XIII novels, you know, that are actually just fan novels that Square Enix puts the approval on. So, and Dissida Opera Omina is made by the same team who's making Dissida. You know, Opera Omina is by the same team that's making Dissida NT. So, this is going to be a pretty big deal. This is going to be a pretty huge deal. I think. This is going to be a huge ass deal. And this deal is going to be real big. You know. Because. And that's because it could happen. It can actually pretty much happen. It can so happen that there could be a connection between the games. Connection between what happened. To start off, Dissida Duodeciem ends. Chaos is beat for good. The heroes go back to their worlds. But then 3 years later, they get called back into a war. And this is when Dissida Opera Omina happens, because the extra villains and extra heroes either die or disappear or whatever happens to them. You know, during the big middle war for NT, which is in Opera Omina. And then it goes down to the original cast of Duodeciem to face their enemies once and for all, and NT, and defeat Spiritus and put an end to Spiritus' madness. Starting with all three games. Yes, they're fighting games, but this is a fighting game series that has a big story if you play it outright. Technically, Dissida, I forgot what it was called, the import I used to have. Oh, yeah, Universal Tuning is actually in between. Dissida 1 and Dissida Duodeciem. So if to play these games in order, I think it'd be Dissida Universal Tuning, Dissida Duodeciem, Dissida Opera Omina, and then final Dissida NT. So tell me what you think about this theory. May the crystal be with you. Like and subscribe, and may the crystal be with you.